Welcome back to Daytime on Rogers TV. I'm Glenn Colson. I'm hanging out with Warren Porter from the Sommelier Wine Service. How are you, sir?
Good, Glenn. How are you?
Now, is it wine club, wine service? Am I getting
Sommelier
that right?
Service is the name of it. It is a wine club, to help you understand it. Yeah.
Now, for those at home who don't know a wine club, what do you do exactly?
Well, wine club is a way that you can get wines, in our club anyway, that aren't available at the LCBO that are from all over the world. But there's thousands and thousands of those wines. So what we did is we enlisted the help of Jamie Drummond, who's one of the best wine palates in Toronto.
Yeah.
And people submit wine to him, he ranks them, and the best ones we buy, and we deliver them right to your door.
Right, absolutely right to the door.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, the wines themselves, the selection process, I mean, this is from someone who, how many glasses of wine
Hundreds.
a week?
I mean, yeah, hundreds of wines.
Yeah, and trusting someone like that opposed to you walking into a store and going, I don't know. But it's interesting with these wines because you can't find them at the LCBO, can you?
Well, yeah, that's one of the criteria when they're submitting wines to Jamie is that they're 100% not available at the LCBO. So these are wines that you'll find in a private club, sent to private collectors, just to restaurants. So they're not shelf wines, which is more than half the wines in Ontario.
Right. Well, and a lot of times people probably think, it's like, oh, this is just for the upper class. This is for, that's not the case, right?
No, it's not. I mean, this is not for people who are super wealthy, nor is it for people who want to drink a lot of wine. This is for somebody who, when they open up a bottle of wine on their table, they want a great wine.
Right.
That they can share with their friends, that they enjoy, that they have the story of, because I tell you the story of every wine, not, what it smells like.
Very cool. Well, let's take a look. You brought a couple things with you here today, and this is what you're talking about. You get this wonderful book, and again, the information.
Yeah. So what we'll do is we'll tell you the story of the wine, because the interesting thing to me about a wine is the story of the family, maybe the grape, what you serve it with, not that somebody thinks it smells like, saddle leather and camphor and cigar box, right? Because we don't get that,
right?
So so that's what I tell you. People write the story behind the wine.
Right. Well, it's also a great conversation piece, I'm sure, as well.
That's right. I call it table talk. So it's what you talk about when that wine gets to your table. So Sauvignon Blanc, for example, Sauvignon Blanc is a white wine that this one's from Chile. But Sauvignon Blanc, Sauvignon comes from the word sauvage, which means savage, and Blanc being white. So it's savage white, which is an indigenous grape in France. So that's where that word comes from. Really? So that's the stuff I'll tell you about. Not that, hey, it's got tropical overtones.
It's hard to explain that to your guests.
It's boring.
The tropical oaky overtones of the East. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I say, how many different wines do you access? Because I know you have a whole bunch sent to you.
Yeah.
From all over the world, right?
Yeah, so we literally have access to hundreds of wines that are submitted to Jamie. So all this network of private order wine agents around Ontario submit their wines to Jamie, and he literally ranks them. And then what we had is software developed that matches it to you. So if Glenn became a member, which you're inevitably going to do.
Absolutely.
When Glenn becomes a member, you're going to say, look, I want wines that are 65% red. And of those, I want 50% that I can still drink in 5 years. And you create this whole profile.
Wow.
And then the software that we had developed matches the wines that Jamie's chosen with the specific things that you like and sends you a custom case every month, every 2 months, every 3 months, however.
Right. And every case, you get the binder, you get the wine itself, and then other information, but it's all obviously securely packaged.
Securely packaged. In fact, it's in 100% reusable packaging. So I send the case to you in a package that my driver picks up the next month and brings back. So it's very environmentally friendly. We would bring back all the packaging and reuse them over and over and over again.
Right. So if I'm sitting at home, and how do I sign up for this club? Like, how does it work?
Sure. You can go to sommelierservice.com. Okay. You can look us up on Facebook under Sommelier Service and find us through there. Book it online, or you can call us at 416-234-9449, and we'll give you all the information.
Now, sommelier. I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Yeah.
Now, it sounds real fancy, but it means
Well, sommelier is a wine expert. So a sommelier in a restaurant is the guy that comes up to you, or the girl that comes up to you and says, for what you're having, this is a great wine. Okay? And they're the wine expert. They're the one who knows about it, because you're not expected to be the wine expert.
Right.
So I'm just taking that concept and bringing it to your house.
And making it that easy for people.
Making it easy.
How far do you serve? Like, do you
We're all over Ontario. The only place I don't serve is where it's really hard or really expensive to get a courier to. So, I mean, I'll come up to Barrie, we go to Kingston, Kitchener, London, all those places. Sometimes out in cottage country, it's a little tough, but I mean, I serve pretty far. You can call us and I'll let you know if we'll serve you.
Right, and what a wonderful opportunity, because you wouldn't get a chance to taste any of these wines, really, unless you're maybe in Toronto.
Well, that's true, and the reason that I wanted to come and talk to you today was because we've expanded out into this area for one, because if you live right downtown Toronto, you got all these great big LCBO wine stores, and they're terrific. and you got access to lots of wines. But if you're up in Barrie sometimes or in Kitchener, you don't get all those great wines.
Right.
So by expanding out to here, I give people who are outside of the downtown core access to great wine.
Right, and as you say, a great way to have your guests over and talk about wine, and you don't have to be a super expert to know it.
Exactly.
Which is great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining me
my
today.
My pleasure, Glenn. Thanks for having me.
Always a pleasure.
Great. And I'm going to leave one bottle for you.
Are you?
One for Jen and one for Deanna.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's so nice. That's so nice. I appreciate that.
Listen, people love wine.
We'll see if they get those bottles of wine. We'll see what happens. All right. Thanks so much.
Thanks.
Right now we're going to go over and see how